Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the difference between the Linux command dd and partclone. For copying or creating an entire image of a hard drive, the dd command is great. But personally, I find there is just one disadvantage about the dd command. Let me quickly show you what I mean. I just will open the Gparted tool. Here I have, for example, my server hard drive. And what dd will do, it won't copy only the data here, but it will use the whole entire disk. So that means it copies all the blank space as well, and you will run into trouble if you want to put that image, for example, onto a smaller hard drive. If I use partclone instead, it will just copy this section here and leave all the rest out. So this spares a lot of space in the image file itself. Don't get me wrong, dd is great if you want to clone the entire hard drive, including the partition table and or grub loader. But what I have trouble with it is using too much disk space over time. I will show you how both commands work. Therefore, we will mount our backup hard drive or USB device. And a nice trick to get the backup link for later purposes is to change directly into the directory and open the terminal window from here. This way you already have your backup link in the first line. Let me register as a root user. And to get a better overview of the partitions, we will use lsblk. Here you see my mounted backup drive in media Ubuntu Extreme SSD, and I want to produce an image file of this hard drive. I'll move up into our root directory and I will give the dd command with the input file of the device SDA, and as the output file I will choose my backup path. I will simply copy and paste it into the line. One more slash to get into the directory. All we have to do now is give it a name. I will call it Kingston.img. And I will give it the byte size of equally 64 kilobyte. And I want to see the output with status equals progress. If I hit enter now, it will start the process of copying the entire disk, and that might take a long time. It's important to mention that you shouldn't make any mistakes for writing down the output file, because it can easily write over your entire hard disk. This is why dd is oftentimes called disk destroyer. Let me stop the process here, because I just wanted to show you how to use the command. So after a successful copy process, it will present you the records that went in and the records that went out. These numbers should be equal. otherwise it is a hint of a faulty drive. To later on copy your image file back to another hard drive, you just have to reverse the command. So it would look something like this. Here's your input file with the path to your image, and the output file should be the device SDA. The rest is equal. As I'm using the Ubuntu 20.04 LTS version, I need to add a package called universe, as partclone is not an onboard tool. You can achieve that by typing in add-apt-repository universe. After we have successfully applied our repository universe, we can go on and install the partclone tool with apt-get install partclone. Yes, of course, we want to add this extra tool. In the description, it tells you how to use this tool. It is able to handle different types of file systems. For example, you could export your Windows NTFS partition, but for Windows 8, 10 and 11, I have to speak out a little warning, because these days Windows systems like to shut down the computers into a hibernate file. And as long as this hibernate file is active, sometimes you run into trouble to clone a partition. So for that reason, I like to use a tool named Reflect to clone an entire Windows system that I will present to you in a later video. Let me show you now how to clone our server partition. Again, I will get my overview with lsblk, and again the SDA2 shouldn't be mounted. I'll just type in partclone, and I will name the ext4 as our file system, -c for clone, -s for source, /device, and here we'll just have the SDA2. Now I define the output file, and I will use our path from earlier with copy and paste, and I will name it Kingston, and I will add the partition name SDA2 so that I know which partition has been copied. .img for image, and we will add a -n to show us some interactive information. Hit enter, and it will greet us with the message that the copying process has been started. Instead of waiting for hours for DD to finish its copy process, partclone will copy this entire disk in roughly 8 minutes. Now it has successfully cloned our partition, and here we are. Our image has just the file size of roughly 40 GB. The only disadvantage of partclone is that it won't copy the grub loader. So we have to set up that manually, and I will present that to you in a later video. Thank you for watching, and as always, like and subscribe. Have a nice day, stay safe, bye bye.